where I live now,
Yeah.
in this block, it's all homeowners. So the way we, I think, treat the place is a lot different compared to like the council tenants we see in the other blocks, because it's just different. We see people.
Yeah, well, if it's not yours, you don't care as much.
But you should though. Like if you live,
Yeah.
these are brand new buildings. Like
Yeah, and you're representing yourself as well.
It's really nice, these buildings that we live in around here. And you look in the other blocks, people dump their rubbish in the street. The way they treat their balcony and everything, they throw like nappies and all that on the floor, and it's just like, why would you do that? Why would you treat where you live? Even if it's free, you live in a nice place.
Yeah. So I'm just writing whitewash paint. Yeah. That's gonna be 22 quid. Yeah. Okay. So going back to just also like they say that you should go there at night. I went there at night. Scared the shit out of myself. It's bloody it's quiet. It's a little too eerie quiet, but I don't know. I'm quite stressed though. The bit that I'm most stressed about is because I'm now single and I'm living on my own. I'm kind of scared that about getting lonely, because it is the first time that in 12 years I will be living where there's not stuff going on all the time, or people. You know, I mean, when I was living on my own in Indo, I used to have a place, and they and I always had people around. I gave everyone a key, but I'd have someone sleeping on my couch half the time. But I think that here people don't do that anymore. I mean, I'm past that age now where that's what you do.
I hate living in busy places.
Yeah, it's hard though. But I'm worried about it being too quiet, you know. And I'm just gonna have to sort of deal with my own company because I hate that shit. You know, I can barely sleep because of it. It's like lie there awake, being like.
But I think you're fortunate to have that experience that a lot of us growing up in London, especially, we missed that area of development, because it used to be like, you live with your parents and then you go off and get your own place.
But you can't do that.
And then
anymore.
you meet somebody and then you get married and
then you
you
both sell your own respective houses.
And you
not
move in
flats,
together.
houses.
But not even if you don't even have to own it, like you'll be able to rent one. But like now, it's just, I've gone from living with like university, living with my mom, then living at university, then living back with my mom, then moving in with my girlfriend, then moving in with my wife.
Well, no, for the record, you moved in with your girlfriend who became your wife. Not that she suddenly. I mean, she's not a butterfly metamorphosizing. It's like, boom, now I'm wearing white. You know, like.
So, but I feel like I missed that area in between where I could have gone from like university to getting my own place, then moving in with my girlfriend, who then turned into my fiance.
Yeah, I think it stunts your growth in a way. Like, I think that one of the things I'm looking forward to is growing. I mean, as much as I'm scared of it, I'm apprehensive about it more than scared.
I heard, sorry to cut you there, I heard good and bad things about that area of development. One, obviously you get a bit of freedom, but then the bad thing is you get too used to living by yourself. Yeah. So when you do eventually meet somebody, you kind of fall into your old habits, and then it's like... Yep.
And it's difficult because you kind of are used to doing things your way in, and it becomes your territory. I found that quite interesting because I lived with my ex-girlfriend, who was, a doctor, and when she wasn't at work, which was like 12 hours a day, which was hard during the pandemic because I was on my own all the time as well, which, again, I'm not a lost puppy, I promise. But I was given, she was really nice. She was really happy to have me there, and I actually moved in with her because I wanted to keep her company as well, because I didn't like the idea of her being on her own. And it's a bit more fun to live with your girlfriend than it is with your family. And but she was saying that I noticed that over time she was trying to get me to put my stuff in there, but there just wasn't any space in her 2-bed flat for me. I had 2 drawers, and when I moved out of hers, it took me less than 2 hours to pack because I just had my 2 drawers. Just shoved them in a bag and then took a few other bits and bobs and off I went. Which, heartbreak aside, it was remarkably easy. But the thing is though that even though I had every intention of living with her long term, until the end, obviously, it never felt like it was my nest, because she'd been so used to living alone for 7 years, because she'd had boyfriends and whatever, but none of them had moved in with her. It was like I was living not in the way, but I was living in her life. And while she wasn't a complete tyrant or anything like that, it was her. We were watching her TV. We were playing with my PlayStation, but we were doing things that were her plants around me, her hobbies, her interests, her artwork on the wall, And I find that, you know, I felt like I couldn't really bring any of that down because that's taking away part of what she is and who she is.
It's a lot different when you that's why a lot of people, when they move in together, they go and find another place, because when you find a place that's both yours, you feel comfortable. But when you're moving into somebody else's place, it's a bit weird because they have their stuff there.
Yeah, and you kind of have to move into that, and they're naturally going to take up all the space.
Yeah, it's like when me and my wife
feel invasive.
When me and my wife moved in together, we're like, okay, this is your side of the bed, this is your wardrobe, this is your... We kind of already decided
you had
that...
two wardrobes,
yeah,
we
already decided that from the beginning. This is your chest of drawer.
Yeah.
This is where...
This is me cramming my shirts into the side of this wardrobe that's already filled with all your jackets.
Exactly.
And like the shoe rack,
me and my wife have different bathrooms.
I have 4 pairs of shoes. She had an entire rack that went the entire wall up. I couldn't do it. I don't know how it's going to be, but I mean, I feel like I'm already not got enough stuff. I mean, do you think that do you find that once you've now owned your own place, that you're kind of accumulating more shit?
Of course you are. I remember when we moved out, like, because also we moved in together to the place we rented, and we had like I had all of our stuff in together, which is a lot. But then I remember moving out of there, and it was just like we moved like across the road.
Weird feeling when it's empty.
We moved like 3 cars full of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you looked in the place and you couldn't tell that we moved anything. It was just still full of stuff, and I was like, how we've got so many stuff in here.
I'm doing that today.
Yeah. And like it's worse now because because that place was already furnished. It had sofas, it had tables and all that. Now we had to go and buy tables. We had to go and buy sofas
for another month.
Yeah, we had to buy like TV stands and all that type of stuff. So it's even worse. It gets worse. Coffee tables.
Have you found that have you met your neighbours yet?
Yeah, we do.
And do you get on with them?
It's different now.
This is the most YouTube thing we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our video. Please do like and subscribe.